Hello, welcome to Cominculo Chanel. The new Seiko Presage Style 60s explores depth and symmetry in true 60s fashion. Buffy Acacia. The 1960s were pivotal years for watchmaking, especially Seiko. Wristwatches had been completely normalized over pocket watches long ago, and formal styles were being taken over by sporty, and at times experimental tool watches. The Seiko Presage Style 60s collection captures some of that energy, and reinvents it with a modern array of dials, without losing any of the effortless cool of the originals, even if it has lost the chronograph function that made the crown legendary. This latest batch of references particularly plays around with layout and depth, but its range of colors will also draw attention. Seiko produce a huge number of watches. I don't blame you if you haven't heard of every single one of them. If that's the case though, don't worry, as we have a handy guide for you to revise from, and there will be a test at the end. For now though, we're focusing on what I think is one of the most underrated models in the Presage family of watches, the Style 60s, which has been expanded with new golden yellow, silvery violet and ice green editions. The big story here is the redesigned dials. Not only did they feature new colors, but the finishing has been changed as well. Instead of being smooth and sunray brushed like the retro blue model, they feature horizontal brushing with a more pronounced texture. On top of that, the ring beneath the hour scale is more of a groove, adding extra dimensionality to the display. The overall layout is the same as ever, inspired by 1960s Seiko chronograph models. As for the colors, they are of course golden yellow, silvery violet and ice green. They're pastel shades, adding yet more credence to the idea that pastel colors are a burgeoning trend in 2025's watchmaking, with both Rolex and Oris, as well as others, adding washed-out tones to their repertoires. For pastel dial colors like the mint green of the SRPL 71 and duck egg blue of the SRPL 73, that's something you won't find easily anywhere else. But I have to admit that I'm captivated by the two-tone leather strap of the SRPL 75. It's something I've seen on countless vintage watches which clearly haven't had a new strap since they were brand new, except those are usually disintegrating before your very eyes. Moving the date window to 6 o'clock was a great choice for the Style 60s, as the 4:30 positioning on previous models does feel a little bit awkward, and it's a nice point of difference from the Style 60s that had a standard 3 o'clock date. The biggest change is the way the dial has been constructed. Previous iterations have used alternating textures to create the sector dial look which highlights the hour markers, but these watches have a concave ring that encourages shadows and light to increase its dynamics. For pastel dial colors like the mint green of the SRPL 71 and duck egg blue of the SRPL 73, that's something you won't find easily anywhere else. The SRPL 75 in general is the standout reference of these three watches, exuding the style of a tastefully wood-paneled office. The golden dial with its horizontal striations even looks like a pretty accurate rendition of oak, and the walnut brown of the aluminium bezel insert is just icing on the cake. The use of Dauphine hands also gives these watches a sharpness that seems like it belongs beside a racetrack, along with the multi-baton hour markers and their flat facets that easily catch the light. As with the original batches of Style 60s, the case diameters are a reasonable 39.5 mm in diameter for a sporty feel without being overbearing. The 46.2 mm lug-to-lug distance should be friendly to most average-sized wrists, and the 12 mm thickness is acceptable, if a little unrefined. The 50-meter water resistance is also a little bit disappointing, as the models on a bracelet would be great for a pool day, but at least you won't need to be overly cautious about the occasional splash. The lugs are fairly sensible with a slight chiseled edge, but the case is almost entirely designed just to bring your eyes to the dial. Even the 60-minute bezel with its 10-minute increments is fixed and purely decorative, and its thin profile acts like a frame to allow the dial more space. The case is brushed, but with such a fine finish that it appears more like a smooth matte texture in the light. The Caliber 4R35 has been a staple of affordable collections for years now, and has gained a great reputation for its reliability, also often outperforming its loosely stated accuracy specifications. And on the chance that something does go wrong, it's an affordable process to service or replace the movement. You can view its rather industrial finishing through the Hardlex caseback, where it's been given a golden winding rotor to symbolize its status in the Presage collection. It has a 41-hour power reserve and a beat rate of 21,600 vibrations per hour. Seiko Presage Style 60s SRPL 71, SRPL 73, and SRPL 75 price and availability. The new Seiko Presage Style 60s SRPL 71, SRPL 73, and SRPL 75 models are now available for pre-order, with delivery expected in May or June 2025. Price: $895 Australian dollars.